Sit.
Okay, so what year were you born?
1940.
1940.
70 or 71.
70.
So did you live through the Depression? The Great Depression? Or no?
No.
No, okay. But you were around for World War II. Right.
You were just a kid.
Oh.
Just really small.
Okay, no, it was the
Korean.
Vietnam War I'm thinking of. Is that it? Yeah. Grandpa's in the Vietnam War, right?
No.
He was in
the Korean conflict.
Oh. Do you know anything
But
about
there
that?
was no, what do you call it, things was leveling out. I mean, he used to walk the jet pipelines and stuff like that because they stole fuel and everything, jet fuel and stuff. But they call it Korean conflict.
What are other ones?
How about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember the assassination of JFK?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or like what you remember from it?
Well, he was shot in a motorcade. From some window in some big building. I guess he lived a little while. He ended up died later. The guy's in prison. He was shot in a motorcade. It was over with, and he got killed, and the funeral was the biggest thing. That was televised. I don't know what do you want to know about it?
I was just looking for a brief summary of what you remember, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
I really can't tell you too much. There really wasn't. It was a big funeral, of course, because he was president. But it was all televised on TV. I don't know. And his grave has a light on it today. What do they call it? The burning flame, forever burning flame. Every once in a while they'll show that on TV if they have something. I don't know.
Civil rights.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Basically, he was saying
Same thing.
he wasn't. He wasn't shot in a motorcade. I don't believe. He was shot in a. He was giving some speech or something like that.
Was it a march that he was in?
Yeah, something like that, and they had this big gathering, and he was shot in that. There was a big thing about it because he was black. Of course, things have changed quite a bit since he was done his thing. I don't know really what you want to know about it, but
Like just one more topic, that'd be good.
his was televised like the president.
Gas shortage.
What? Gas shortage.
And Jimmy Carter's.
Well, I don't know if it was in his age, but I remember back when my mom and dad had tokens to buy gas with. I can't tell you what year that was because I was just a small kid. But I remember being with my father and mother when they stopped and got gas, and we used tokens to buy gas with. It was weird. Just about big as a dime.
How'd that work though? Like,
It was just like money.
oh yeah.
You could buy food with it, certain foods, buy gas. That was probably back in the late 40s. That was back when they cut ice on the lake. My father cut ice on the lake, and he had a nice house. She sold the ice. The ice was stored in buildings with sawdust. There was large cubes. I don't know if you want to know all of this, but
It's good.
that's about it on that. My father was the only one that done it in Bingham at the time. He cut the squares out of Wyman Lake where we've been ice fishing. We went down on the landing right there where the swimming area is. Used to go out about, used to drive truck out there. So that was back then, the ice was really thick. We used to drive it out there, and he used to load it up. We would he had saws he could cut chunks out of the ice with. It was about that square, probably about maybe that deep. And load them on the truck and bring them up and put them in the ice house. And people used to buy them. They had the old-fashioned refrigerators in. It was not electric. And you just put a cake of the ice inside of a refrigerator, and that would keep for so many days to keep everything good. I don't know what else you want to know.
I think that's good. Are there any like big historical moments that you can remember, like that we haven't brought up yet, I guess?
Like a what?
Like a historical moment, I guess, should I say? Like, I don't know how to put it in better words. You know, like something big.
Is there anything big you remember in history that we haven't mentioned yet?
Those are better words.
No, I can't think of anything right off here. You're probably really better to interview somebody that's older than I am. Maybe. It went back in the years further than I did.
Yeah.
I lived back in the time when we hauled logs out of the woods with a horse and wagon.
Yeah, that's something.
Like that deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my mother and father had sitting in a fancy car, had a Model T. You don't know what that is,
Ford?
but yeah.
Yeah,
Model T Ford,
I did.
yeah. Had a rumble seat in it. Us kids used to all pound rumble seat and we'd go to town. We used to, my father used to haul logs, mostly pulp, take it to Bingham, and it was put on the train. Some of it that wasn't put on the train, he used to back into the river going down below Bingham, and we would put it in the river to float down through to Skowhegan, and then it came right down through like Bass Hinckley and stuff to the mill. Gonna say I don't know what to I don't know what else to tell you. I'm trying to think of some modern history, but all this work was done by horses, work horses, no tractors, no skidders. It was all done by hand. We had a saw that 2 people handled. They called it a maul. There was not such a thing as a chainsaw that you like yours now. All you need is fancy wood things that they do the wood with now in the woods, full of bunches, stuff like that. There was nothing like that. Everything was done by hand. A big dray was made to haul the stuff out on, the logs, all the pulp. That was all done by work horses. Hauled all out to the yard, and then it was cut up and loaded on. It didn't have these pulp loaders like you got on truck now. It was all loaded by hand. I don't know if it's history or not, but it's a part of it.
We get in the bag. If you can't think of anything. That's good. Yeah.